All right, so I'm live again. I need to separate this out. Let me do this real quick. So I'm live again. Nope. Why did I not? Oh my goodness. What are you doing? All right, so we're live again. We're gonna try. I think I updated the audio properly. Wait a minute. Why are we live? Yo, why it's not showing up? What the hell? There we go. All right. Let me mute myself. That'd be great. All right. Cool. Okay. All right. We're gonna try this again. All right, we're gonna try this again. I think I updated the thing this time. We shall see if it works. If not, then we're just gonna call it a night and be done with it. All right, let's try again. And I'm not gonna keep holding y'all up. So we'll see if it works. Actually, we can just test this real quick. Let me go to another YouTube video. Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's just do this real quick. We just test another YouTube video real quick, and then we see what happens. Let's go to this one. Hey, welcome back, sir.
What's up, man?
What's up?
Freaking Ecamm. Ecamm, dude, I swear.
Yeah. All right. So I'm doing a test video here. Let me try to see if this works. Let me know if you all, Jeff, let me know your sound. Let me know if y'all hear sound in the chat. We're going to try this again. And I'm going to mute that. And
here, right? So, yeah. You know, this is the thing. We kind of talked about this. We're going to do a best of 2022, but
all right, so we got
Marquez has.
All right. So we figured it out. So now we can go back to the actual thing I want to do here. And we can go to work. Actually, I need to, let me see if I can separate this thing so I can see what y'all are doing. All right, so we got that going on. Wait, what the? No.
You know, you could pop out the chat on the other one, so you could just have the chat up on the side.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Why? Oh, because it's two of the current here. Okay, never mind. That's not gonna work. All right, I'll just have to have the chat somewhere else then. Oh my God, so much stuff. All right, so we are going to start from the beginning here. Actually, over here. All right, cool. All right, so y'all got sound? Yeah, we got sound. And you all can hear. I think you all can hear Marquez. So let me know if you can't. But we're gonna start this now. So what I'm gonna do is when he starts playing music, I'm gonna mute him because I don't want to get copyright claim. But I'll try to go through or fast forward to the part where he's playing music, so I don't have to worry about that. But I think around this part, I think we're music free. So I'm just gonna start from here, and let's see what the hell happens. Let's see if we can get this party done. So we're gonna start from here and let's go.
Space. And so my winner for the best big phone of the year actually came out right near the beginning of it, and that is Samsung's Galaxy S22 Ultra. So hardware-wise, I feel like this one just pretty much did it all here. It's got the big 6.8-inch display, one of the absolute best in the business. It added a stylus, but still included a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, which is the same as the year before. Multiple great cameras on the back, a pair of great telephotos, good speakers, good software, really no hardware flaws to speak of, to the point where maybe you'd say it was kind of boring, which I think is actually a good thing. If you're looking to spend this much on a phone, you don't want anything to be too weird about it. And so, yeah, this one's the category in a way that I think the Notes usually did in the past, so it's sort of a return of the Note. But I do also give some runner-ups and honorable mentions in some of these categories too, and that's what I'm gonna do in Best Big Phone, which means the runner-up is the Asus ROG Phone 6. Really similar actually in a lot of ways to Samsung's flagship, just missing a couple little things. It's a little more specialized. No wireless charging, but it's got a screen on the back and it's much more gaming centric.
I can't hear you.
But I gotta shout it out for the incredible, massive stereo front-facing speakers and also the headphone jack. Big phone. Should have room for a headphone jack. And then also a little shout out, a little honorable mention to the Xiaomi Mix Fold 2.
Yeah, I was saying that I have never owned an Asus device, but I know he loved them, and I guess other people love them. So let me know in the chat if any of you all have ever owned an Asus device. I've never owned any of their phones, but I've heard
I have a Zenfone 9.
What's up, Jeff?
I have a Zenfone 9.
Oh, you do? How you like it?
I love that phone. That phone's legit. It's just small, but it's legit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's Mighty Mouse, man. But yeah, if you want to, I can't really hear you over, Marquez. So if you want to chat real quick, just pause it real quick and then keep going.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best move. All right, let's continue. If I can stop clicking out of it.
It didn't have an IP rating. It wasn't quite, available for everyone worldwide, but this is one of those folding phones where it folded just to about the same thickness as a normal phone, which is sort of like one of those breakthrough moments in folding phones, I think. And now we can start to feel like they're on their way towards being usable. Big phone.
Take note, damn it.
Smaller package. All right, next category, best small phone. So now we're on the other end of the spectrum, right? There are not a lot of small phones, and this is a rare category. And I'll be honest, this one wasn't close. So last year's winner, as you might recall, was the iPhone mini. They killed that this year, so that wasn't even gonna qualify. So what would be the best small phone of the year? It's the best small phone I've ever seen, and that is Asus Zenfone 9. This phone is so nice, and they made a lot of great decisions across the board here. So small, it's relative, but it's a 5.9-inch display, relatively compact. Flagship specs, Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, a 1080p high refresh rate OLED, great software, tons of RAM, really fast, and a surprisingly great camera. And if this phone, this small, can have a headphone jack, then what's everybody else's excuse, right? There are a lot of great things I liked about it. It did have a couple weird flaws, like this weird soft touch back that ended up discoloring a lot. I talked about that in the main review, but like, man, I was very surprised by the battery life on this phone. There's not a lot of things I get genuinely surprised about in the smartphone world now, but a phone this small having such a great battery life, this is easy, best smartphone in this size. But I will give a little honorable mention, a little runner-up though, because there was a certain phone that came out right at the very end of the year. You guys might have wondered why this video was so late. I'll give partial credit to this one. Oppo Find N2. This is that little passport-sized phone. It's got these flat edges, and it's still a folding phone, which has got a pretty solid display on the inside. I haven't done a full review about it yet, but it feels like this is a bit of a preview to what a folding Pixel might look like, which is really interesting. But all right, let's get to the next category, which is best camera. Or should I say best camera system across the board? Because there is a lot to a good camera, from photo quality to video quality, but also speed of capture and autofocus reliability and ease of use and file formats and all this other stuff. So we did something really interesting this year. We did a blind smartphone camera test in the form of a website that we built, where we gave everyone the ability to vote on whatever photos they like in 3 different categories. And we had 16 different phones from the year, all competing against each other. And the overall winner across all 3 categories was the Pixel 6a, incredibly. And actually runner-up to it was the Pixel 7. So these are clearly some really good photo quality phones, but I'm not giving them the trophy for best camera system. I'm also not giving it to the Vivo X80 Pro Plus or X90 Pro Plus, which were low-light kings. They had a really great combination of software and a really impressive sensor. The hardware stack is great, but no. My winner for best overall camera system in 2022 is going to the iPhone 14 Pros. So this has now become the longest defending champion of a single category ever. This is the 4th year in a row the iPhone has taken down the camera category, because again, it's great across the board. So image quality, as we know, is solid, right? We knew that, but the time to open the camera to actually snap a photo is extremely quick. The autofocus is fast. I'd say you could fairly give the Pro iPhones like an A- to a B+ for photos. But then in the video department, it's a whole different dimension.
So obviously, I think we feel kind of the same way about it, but you know, we'll definitely have to talk about that. But I get where he's coming from with it being the best camera system. For me, the photos are good enough. They're not Pixel. And that was proven by his own, his own camera test and the blind test and stuff. Video is very good, obviously, but that's not to say that other phones out there don't have amazing video camera systems. So I kind of get it. Convenience for sure, but yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. While I disagree with the system choice, but you know, it is what it is. It's his video, his awards.
Okay, so yeah, let's talk about this for a minute, because I agree with you, Jeff. I mean, I get it. Like, again, when you want to go out, right? If you go outside and you want a camera that's going to get the job done with no muss, no fuss, it's iPhone. Whether it be photo, video, iPhone is usually going to get you the best picture in that particular moment in time. But I agree with you. I feel like the Pixel 7 Pro takes the best picture out of any phone, and I have the iPhone 14 Pro Max. it takes better pictures than the iPhone 14 Pro Max. When I go to the gym and I'm taking my gym selfies, when I'm showing these gains, yo, I'm not using an iPhone, okay? I'm using the Pixel 7 Pro because it takes better photos and it highlights the gains, yo. Now, again, when we talk about video quality, I agree. iPhone is always going to have superior video. We know this. But like he said, the award is for best overall camera system. Again, when I pull out my iPhone, I open up the camera app, I snap the photo. There's no lag, no freezing, no nothing. Sometimes when I open up the Pixel phone, there is a little lag when I'm taking a photo or different things like that. We're not even going to talk about video because the Pixel video does not compare. Even though they definitely made improvements in the video department, it doesn't really compare still to iPhone video. So yeah, if you're going to talk about overall camera system, photo, video, whatever, it's hard to argue with the iPhone, but if I got to take a phone out for the camera, I'm taking the Pixel 7 Pro over the iPhone. But that's just me, and I guess Jeff feels the same way. So,
sort of.
but
Yeah, for the most part. Like even for me, when I'm doing social media stuff, whether it's photos and videos, like the stuff you see on my Instagram Reels or TikTok, I'm doing that with the Pixel. So yeah, just to be clear. So even though I have an iPhone 14 Pro Max, it can do excellent video. But if I'm going to do stuff for social media, I'm going to use my Pixel for both photo and for video, even though I own an iPhone 14 Pro Max. But that is just me.
Yep, absolutely. All right, let's keep going here.
I mentioned, and it's not really even close. I've been running the autofocus YouTube channel now for a couple months, doing a lot of videos on cars, shot entirely on smartphones. And you can tell the difference when I shot a video on the iPhone's camera versus the other smartphone cameras. It's how good it looks, it's the audio quality, it's the consistency of color, it's the ProRes, the sharpness. I much prefer shooting videos on iPhones, and I think I'm not alone there. And I'll say it still takes a long time to get the files off of the iPhone, and I hope they fix that. But it's the winner for best camera system. Okay, so next up, let's do the battery. This is the best battery overall.
It's an understatement of the century.
I think this is one of the more objective categories, probably. But it's including a little more, obviously, than just the battery size. I want to include just the battery experience, how long it takes to charge, how long it lasts on a charge, battery flexibility of features and things like that, how long the battery health does. And so my winner for best battery in a 2022 phone, it is a defending champ. It is the Asus ROG Phone 6. This phone has not a 4,000, not a 5,000, but a 6,000 milliamp hour battery. It's got 65 watt fast charging, so you can go from 0 to full in under an hour. And on top of that, there is a bevy of battery management features. So obviously you can turn the 165 hertz display down all the way to 6 hertz if you want to and get a ton of battery. But then there's also like charge limit features, pass-through charging, things like that. This phone is a king as far as battery life experience, and it actually charges fast. Probably the only knock against it is that it doesn't have wireless charging, which most other phones in its price range do have, but as far as just worry-free battery, that's the winner. And I will give a runner-up in this category to the iPhone 14 Plus. So a lot of us kind of saw this coming when Apple killed the mini iPhone in favor of a plus-sized iPhone that doesn't have the ProMotion OLED.
All right, so the reason why I did not do my own award show this year is because I have not used that many devices. I've only used like, I think 3 or 4 phones this entire year. So I didn't feel like I used enough devices to give you guys the full award show. But when it comes to battery life, out of the devices that I have used this year, I felt like it was almost neck and neck between the iPhone and the Pixel 7 Pro. I'll probably get the slight nod to the Pixel 7 Pro just because I kind of felt like from going from the iPhone 13 Pro to the iPhone 14 Pro over, I just feel like battery life was just a little bit less on the 14 because we all know the iPhone 13 Pro Max had that amazing battery life, and the 14 Pro Max does not have that battery life. It's not bad, but it's still not as good as the 13 Pro Max. And I had the 13 Pro Max and I have the 14 Pro Max, and battery life on the 13 Pro Max was definitely better. Pixel, Google, even with all the functionality that they threw into the Pixel 7 Pro, still I think has slightly better battery life than the iPhone 14 Pro Max. But obviously, again, he uses more devices than I do. He gives this award to Asus every year. And I mean, hell, when you have a 6,000 milliamp hour battery, you better win the award. So I had a problem with that.
No, for sure. And I got the 14 Pro Max myself, but I had to turn off the always on display to get that battery life back to where it should be.
I never turned it on. I knew it was going to drain battery. I don't care what anybody said. I knew that it was going to be a battery detriment. So I just left it off the entire time. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. So
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. All right, let's see what else we got.
Display. So this is a big, simple 60 hertz display that is just powered by a massive battery in the iPhone, massive for an iPhone. And so with wireless charging and with all the other things that Apple does to prevent batteries from having problems, I'd say that's a pretty great battery experience. And I'll also give a quick shout out, an honorable mention, because the Asus Zenfone 9, I keep coming back to this. The way it surprised me with battery life, this is a 4,300 milliamp hour battery in this phone. It also doesn't have wireless charging. The charging speed is decent, but I was genuinely shocked by how well this phone held up on battery. Who would have thought that a phone small like this would have one of the best batteries of any phone that came out during the calendar year? But anyway, okay, next up is the Design Award. I feel like this is the hardest one every year to think of or to give out, just because it is the most subjective now. This is it's actually changed over the years. It used to be, I think I called it best build quality, or just best overall build or materials or industrial design, but it's eventually just evolved into like, who can step outside of the box and do things a little different design-wise? Because that honestly does not happen very much in smartphones these days. And sometimes it kind of feels like a process of elimination, like, oh, I can't give this to a phone that played it too safe, right? Lots of phones look basically the same as last year. I definitely can't give it to a phone that made like an obvious regression from the year before, or has like a glaring issue with build or materials, or failed JRig everything's test or something. I can't give it to an iPhone either, can I? I mean, they still have the biggest notch, but oh, there's the dynamic island though too.
Stop it.
Maybe.
Don't you dare.
No. The Design Award for 2022 is gonna go to the Nothing Phone. The Nothing Phone won.
What?
Get it?
Oh my
The design, I think, is literally the best thing about this phone. Maybe second best. So it's got this sort of transparent look, which is definitely trying something new. And then the glyph interface with these lights on the back. They light up for notifications. They can also light up as a fill flash for video if you want. It also has a wireless charging indicator on the back. It definitely skirts the line right between gimmick and feature. Like, a lot of people will get this phone and have fun with it for a week and then never use it again, but I find it really neat. I think it's cool that you can see how much battery is as you're charging. I don't know, little things like that. You don't see a lot of phones trying new stuff. The rest of the phone happens to be pretty good too, so I have no problem giving the Nothing Phone the Design Award for 2022. And then I do also want to give an honorable mention in design to that Xiaomi Mix Fold 2. There were a number of folding phones that came out during this year, but as I mentioned earlier, this is the first one that sort of passed that barrier of actually being the same thickness as a normal phone. I mean, look at, this is another phone that came out during this year. It's very close in overall thickness. So a lot of phones you pick up, like this is Samsung's folding, it just feels, it's thicker than a normal phone. And you think about that all the time when you're using it. So I wanted to reward this one for actually getting to that point where now, there's other things to fix still about folding phones, but this feels very usable and pocketable and gives you the benefits of unfolding to a huge screen. Shout out to Xiaomi. All right.
Okay. All right. So let me
Yeah, Xiaomi has that form factor down, bro. With that folder right there, that's when he held them both next to each other. It's like it's such an obvious difference.
Yeah. Again, I can't really comment on Xiaomi phone because I've never used any of them. I've never held them in my hand. But out of the devices that I've used this year, I've even told you all on Twitter that I have been loving what Google brought with the Pixel 7 Pro. I just feel like this build quality is amazing. It looks lovely. It feels like premium. Even that you got that RoboCop camera system going on back there. I just feel like this is so damn beautiful. And out of the devices that I've used, and I've used the S22 Ultra, I have the Fold 4, I got the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Out of all the devices that I've used this year, this Pixel, I feel like it has the best design and the best build quality. It'll have to with the later case. That's the later case, right? Hey, why can I not hear you?
No, it's not the later case. It's a El Cheapo Aramid fiber case on Amazon. Dude, later case was talking about they weren't going to deliver it till like mid-December. I'm like, y'all tripping, like
my man. All right, so Barry wants me to turn my gain up. Hold on, let me see if I can do that real quick. Gain up. All right, how's that, Barry? That should be good. Woo! Yeah. Oh yeah,
there you go.
All right, cool.
But yeah, no, but I agree though, man. Design wise, it's going to be now. Obviously, Matt's objective, right? So just like Zach was saying, the lights are a gimmick, and I was calling cap on it, but it's really down to opinion. It's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, so. I'm not saying that Marquez is wrong because those Xiaomi phones do look nice. But again, out of the devices that I've used this year, the Pixel 7 Pro is just beautiful. It's lovely. It feels good in the hand. It's everything. So good job, Google. You did the damn thing with this year with this phone. No doubt about it.
Yep.
All right, let's go back to the award video.
Don't forget to share your screen. There you go.
Sir.
All right, let's give out a value award. I like this one. This was actually pretty close as well this year too. Notice it's one of the more controversial awards. It used to be best budget phone, but budget means something different for everyone. So I'm just calling this like best bang for the buck. You can kind of picture the pyramid of phones. And when you see a good one, you know what I'm talking about. When you see a phone that has a great price, I'm going by launch price, MSRP. So the winner, I'm giving my winning by a little bit best value award to the Pixel 7. This phone came out at $599, and it's one of the best $599 phones I've ever seen. I mean, it's pretty clear. It's the whole Google flagship experience. It's also got the Tensor chip flagship, same as the more expensive one. It's also got the same main sensor, the same flagship camera as the more expensive one. It has a great 90 hertz OLED flat display. It's so good that it made the 7 Pro kind of feel like not that good of a deal, because $599, there's not a lot that you can get for this price that does this well. In fact, I'd argue nothing. So this is one of my favorite phones that came out this year, but it just barely beats out another one of my favorite phones that came out this year, which is Asus Zenfone 9.
Damn.
Really unique combo
Yes,
for this one, which launched at $699. It also now has the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1. It's got a ton of RAM, a 120 hertz display, a flat OLED again, but also like the fingerprint reader on the side, a headphone jack, and incredible battery life. I mean, these two phones could go back and forth head to head. I could easily be swayed here, but those two were awesome to see. That's probably the best $699 phone I've ever seen. And among the myriad of other really good sub $400 phones that came out, I want to give an honorable mention to the Realme 10 Pro Plus. This had a big 6.7-inch display. You can see the cameras on the back, 5,000 milliamp hour battery, but this camera performed surprisingly well to a lot of people. It ended up beating $1,000 phones, and it was second place in votes per dollar in our blind smartphone camera test. Really good overall package for about $350. I like the way this launched, and I think if you can get over the way it shines, it's a really good one. All right, bust of the year.
All right, before we get to the bust of the year, I can't really argue with that pick. I've heard a lot of people say that the Pixel 7 was literally the best value this year. Now, obviously, I did not get that when I got the Pixel 7 Pro, and I've been enjoying it. The Pixel 7 Pro, as most of y'all know, is my phone of the year for 2022. We'll see what he says later on, but I thought he was going to say the Pixel 6a, because the Pixel 6a, for what I think it's like $299 now, you get one of the best camera systems out there, and you get a lot of value in that phone as well. It also has the Google Tensor chip and everything like that running Android 13. So I really thought he was going to go Pixel 6a, but I mean, the Pixel 7 is newer, has the better technology, pretty much has almost all the features of the 7 Pro. I think it's only missing like a couple of features, and it's $599. Hard to argue with that. You can't argue with that. And I think a lot of people felt that way about that phone.
And the size is right. So if you haven't held a Pixel 7, the size is just right. So I really wish that the Zenfone 9 would have been the size of the Pixel 7. I think it would have been absolute perfection at that size, because the Zenfone 9 is like a Pixel 5 size. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. All right, let's find out what the bust of the year is.
You know, we give it out every year. You don't like giving it out, but it's the one you hate to have to give. You know, there's a lot of phones that played it really safe, which is interesting, and you could argue for a lot of boring phones to just have been too boring. Bust of the year, I wish they did something more exciting or interesting, but I don't know. A lot of phones these days are very similar to their previous years, and I won't penalize them for that if the previous phone is good. I really only had one pick for bust of the year, and that's the OnePlus 10T. Not a whole ton to say here. It wins this award for having a pretty big delta between expectations and possibilities versus actual result. Not all of that is OnePlus's fault, but I mean, they've been on this slight downward trend of value and reputation and software experience and cameras and a whole bunch of other things like that. There's just not a whole lot to like. And it also just feels like the identity has sort of been eroded very quickly over time. We just had the Hasselblad thing added to the previous OnePlus flagship phone, and then the 10T comes out, and they don't even bother with it. I don't know if they're saving it for the Pro phones, but it's like, what is this? What do you even say about OnePlus phones anymore? There's no, you can't even describe a OnePlus phone.
Come on,
It's really
man.
generic.
Come on, man.
So anyway, yeah, congrats on your award, Bust of the Year.
Sir, bro. Might as well be LG now. Like OnePlus is the whipping boy.
Damn. Whoa, man.
Come on, man.
Woo,
Come
he
on,
just straight.
man.
Oh my lord, it could be hard to come back from that from OnePlus, bro.
Come on, man. That hurts, man. That hurts because
cold-blooded,
OnePlus
yo.
phones are still legit. Like don't get it twisted because Mark says because of what Marquez said. OnePlus phones are still legit. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So hopefully the OnePlus fanboys, I know right now it's a sad day, or rest in spaghetti, never forgetty. But damn.
Woo. Now, that's Marquez's Bust of the Year, but guess what? I have one too.
Uh-oh.
And it's gonna be something that y'all may or may not see coming. Again, let me preface this by saying I have not used many devices this year. I can only talk about the devices that I have used. But out of the devices that I have used, my Bust of the Year is the iPhone 14 Pro Max. I know it's crazy, right? Crazy. But this phone, they went on stage and they talked about the dynamic island, this, that, and the other. I wasn't impressed then. I've owned this phone since launch day. I'm not impressed now. Although I will say that Sam of iUpdate, now he calls himself Apple Tracks. He did an excellent video highlighting some of the apps that take advantage of Dynamic Island. So that was a great video by Sam. But this phone is just not doing it for me this year. I can't get excited about it. I mean, I use it because it's an iPhone, but other than it being an iPhone and having all the Apple ecosystem stuff, the iPhone 14 Pro Max is not doing it for me this year. It's just not it. So if I have to pick a bust out of the devices that I've had, the iPhone 14 Pro Max is my bust because I just feel like Apple kind of melded in this year. I'm sorry, I still cannot get behind the whole dynamic island thing. I mean, it's cute, but it's like a parlor trick, and then once it wears off, it wears off. Other than that, there's not much new to the phone over last year, and in some instances, actually, in a lot of ways, I feel like the 13 Pro Max is the better device than the 14 Pro Max. But again, that's just my opinion. That doesn't mean that the 14 Pro Max is a crappy device. I'm just saying about out of the devices that I've owned this year, it's the one that I'm just the least excited about. So hey, you can do with that information what you will. So hey.
Yeah, no, for sure, man.
You got a bust of the year, Jeff, or you gonna keep that in house?
No, not really, man. I mean, I pretty much I only picked up really, banger phones. The only one that the one that I use the least out of all the devices that I have is my Galaxy Z Flip, and it's a dope device in its own right. But I only have a Samsung device because I have to have one. In the sense of if I want to take full advantage of testing the Galaxy Buds, I have to have a Galaxy device.
Yeah,
which is trash. I hate that. So, but I don't have a choice. But when I'm using an Android device, it's not the Galaxy. I'm using the Pixel. So, but yeah, no, for me, not really, man. But I don't test enough devices the way Marquez does to really have one that I'm like, yeah, this is just trash. I really, no, I can't really say that. It's just sad to see OnePlus get the business like this. You hate to see it. You hate to see it because for anybody who's used any of them in recent time, they'll tell you straight up, like OnePlus owners, actual OnePlus user will tell you those phones are dope.
Yeah, the only OnePlus device I've ever owned was the 7 Pro, the OnePlus 7 Pro. And it was a solid
That was a
device.
nice phone.
It was a nice phone. But I think they I kind of agree with Marquez that they kind of lost their identity along the way when they started raising the prices. But man, what can you do? All right, we're getting close to the end, but let's continue.
So that brings us to the MVP,
we are at the end.
The most valuable phone. Nah, it's not the value award. It's my favorites list. That's kind of what this has turned into. Like the best overall phone combined with the best overall experience, the best impact on the industry. There's a bunch of different things that can float you to the top of my favorites list from the smartphones that came out this year. And there are a lot of really good ones. You've just heard about great cameras, great big phones, great battery lives, great value, some surprises. This was a really close one for me, really tough. Again, I could be swayed. I don't even want to say that about the MVP, but I really think it's that close. I have 2 MVPs, okay? But I'm giving my top dog, my #1 MVP award for 2022 to the Pixel 7. This phone, it deserves it for sure. Like you heard about in its previous win, great value, okay? Incredible cameras, great display, flagship software experience, really good battery life, not a whole lot missing. And that's kind of what you get with a phone like this, which is like, all right, the 7 Pro came out for $300 more, and that's actually a phone that I've used a lot to this day, but what do you really get more for that? The telephoto camera, the extra 30 hertz on the display. Like, this phone is such a good deal that it's hard to recommend the 7 Pro. I love recommending the 7. It's just an overall excellent phone, and I'm glad that Google found their groove, because I actually just forgot. I haven't given out the Most Improved award yet either, and that's also the Pixel 7. Google really found their groove with this phone, and to be fair, there are a lot of people who might criticize the design. They don't like, you know, the visor as much. I kind of like the glass visor of the 6 a little bit more, to be perfectly honest, but I actually like that it's unique. If you look at a phone from far away, you know exactly what a Pixel phone looks like. From across the street, you know what a Pixel looks like, right? They're doing this advertising thing. They're actually getting into people's hands. I just did my assistant battle, and like the assistant that runs on this phone, especially on the Pixel, is excellent. The voice recorder app, all the smart features, hold for me, the screen call feature, I can't say enough good things. Pixel 7, great package overall, love this phone. So why am I so torn? What is the other phone that is such a good year that I have a hard time only picking one MVP? Well, it's the Zenfone 9, baby. This phone, this had a lot of good things going for it, and it was one of my favorite phones, one of my biggest surprises of the year. Where do I start? The design I really liked, despite not having the best wear and tear experience. I'm not a big case person, so I gotta give it a knock for that. No wireless charging. But the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 had amazing performance. This phone's battery life was incredible. It didn't charge fast, but like I was just amazed by that. It has a headphone jack. It has the fingerprint reader on the side, which was very fast, but also had gestures, and surprisingly good cameras. I mean, these things ended up top 5, top 4, maybe top 3 in our blind smartphone camera test, voted by the masses. So Asus has had great cameras for years. I just really liked this phone. It's more expensive. It was $699 on launch. I think they did this weird thing in the US where it launched for more, but like, if you can get your hands on this phone and pop a SIM card tray in it and it actually will work well with your carrier, Zenfone 9 was a very close second for my MVP for 2022. But then one more, I want to give an honorable mention to the old boring Galaxy S22 Ultra. It's an expensive phone. It has all the hardware features. It didn't really do anything wrong. It just happens to have one of the biggest batteries and the best display in the business and one of the best camera suites in the business and one of the best processors. I mean, it's a boring, really solid overall phone, and that's why it won Best Big Phone, and so I'll give it that honorable mention because a lot of us want to see just the best overall phone of the year highlighted, and specs-wise and what it does for people, I think that's a really good phone to pick. Of course, right alongside the ROG phone. I could go on. Lots of great phones came out this year, but that's been it for the Smartphone Awards of 2022. Feel free to leave all the notes in the comment sections below. I know all of you guys will have thoughts on this, as we do every year. We'll talk about it. But of course, if you're a company seeing this and you want your trophy, let me know. Hit me up on Twitter or something. I'll literally ship it out to you. I've done that before.
All right, we gotta let that go.
There it is.
Yeah. Hard to argue with most of the awards that he gave out. The A2, that Zenfone 9, Jeff, you have that phone, so tell us a little bit more about that phone and your experience, because apparently you were not in agreement.
Oh yeah, no, it's a dope phone. Here's one thing. Shout out to Marquez too, because I love the fact that his 2 MVPs are both sub $1,000 phones.
Yeah,
I love that. Like Pixel 7 and the Asus Zenfone, both of them under $1,000 phones, right? So you love to see that, because a lot of people would think, oh yeah, it's going to go to iPhone 14 Pro Max, or it's going to go to the S22 Ultra, which is really surprising, even though he did give the Ultra it's flowers. It's a great phone. Don't get it twisted. The S22 Ultra is a dope phone, but I love seeing it. But yeah, the Zenfone 9, bro, it's so good. Like, as a suite for testing, because that's really what I got it for, right? I needed a phone that had the latest flagship processor. I needed something that was going to also support Qualcomm's aptX lossless codec, which only the Zenfone 9 and the ROG 6 supported. I needed something that had a headphone jack. I wanted something that could handle gaming as well, and had a high refresh monitor display on it. So I'm just like, it was really ticking all of the boxes. So as we were going through, we were checking out. I think I was on either Kimmy stream or LaShawn stream, but when we're all together, we were looking at it as they were announcing it, and I was just like, I was sold. As soon as I was reading everything that was being listed, I was like, oh, I'm getting that phone. I'm getting that device. And as soon as it became available on Amazon, I ordered it, and I've been using it for a few months now for testing. I think it was like August when it arrived, either July or August. And um, yeah, it's been a great device overall, man. I don't use it as my main device. Just want to be very clear with you guys. That is not my main Android device. I do not have a SIM in it. This is a test device that I use to test all of my headphones, all my in-ear monitors, and all of my gaming tests. So Call of Duty, Asphalt, all those games, Genshin Impact, all that stuff is being played on that device. And man, I can game for hours. And this thing, the battery management on it, even at 120 hertz, is so good. The audio suite on it is really good. The only thing it's lacking would have been like a quad DAC. Like that would have been so sick. But even then, it can handle monitors really easily. But it's a great phone. The only downside is the fact that it's the size of a Pixel 5. That's the only downside. That's it. So the camera's good. It gets updates very regularly, which is great. So yeah, I was actually truly impressed. Truly impressed. If that phone was 6.1 to 6.3 inch, that exact phone with those exact specs, dude, that thing would be crushing right now. So, but yeah, it's an excellent device, man.
Yeah. Again, like I said, I've never used it, but I mean, hell, Marquez is speaking highly of it. Hefe speaking highly of it. Marquez, I mean, he loves ASUS devices anyway, so it's no
Yeah.
surprise that they are ranking high in this award show. But I want to go back to the Pixel 7, man, because again, I told you guys the Pixel 7 Pro is my 2022 smartphone of the year. I think even Mr. Who's the Boss, Aaron, he gave it his smartphone of the year. And now you just tell Marquez give the Pixel 7 his smartphone of the year. A lot of us tech people gave the Pixel 7 or 7 Pro smartphone of the year. And it's just, I think it was just like a perfect, it was like a perfect storm for Google, right? Like I said, the iPhone kind of regressed this year. The Galaxy S22 Ultra, it's a nice device, but you know, I mean, it's okay. I think the Fold 4 is a little bit better than the S22 Ultra in some ways, but the Fold 4 will never be considered because of the price tag, but I think it's a better device. But the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro just came in at the perfect time and has everything. And again, as I said before, usually when Google releases a Pixel device, it's always a glaring issue either with the hardware or the software that just knocks it down a peg. None of that was existing this year. There was no issue with this phone, at least not that I had, or not that really like made headline news. It worked the way it was supposed to. The software was great. The hardware was great. The camera system is great. Just the experience of using it, great. And it just did all the things that we thought it was going to do last year, but it took them a year to get it done this year. But it just did all the things right this year. And just using it is a joy. I love using it. I love taking pictures with it. It does video decently enough. And the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro, I mean, they're just great devices this year. And I'm not surprised that we are all giving Google their flowers this year because it's a great device. Hefe has it. He'll tell you.
Yeah, and we torture tested it at Camp Pixel. Like collectively, we torture tested those phones, man, doing all kinds of wacky stuff, especially being out freezing, freezing my balls off in the forest at middle of the night, taking those light pictures and stuff, and Vyyyper out there on the bicycles and the dead of fall out there. Like, listen, we were having a good, we were putting the night cameras to the test. Like we were doing everything. People were shooting all types of video. If you look at the videos that Mark Linganisan was putting together with his Pixel 7 stuff, like there's stuff like I think I'm pretty good with the Pixel, and then I see other people do stuff with it, and I'm just like, God damn, like, are you kidding me? So it's I'm glad to see it. I'm glad that the Pixel 6 did a really good job. Pixel 6 Pro did a good job. This year was them smoothing out the kinks. Not saying that nobody had bugs with the Pixel 7 Pro. Some people did, and that's inevitable. It's going to happen with every device. Look at the bugs that people are having with iOS. You know what I mean? So saying it's going to happen on any device, but overall, the overall experience, just using it on a day to day, has been so much better, and all the way down to the fingerprint sensor.
Yes, much improved over last year. Like leaps and bounds better than last year. Thank God.
Yeah, and yeah, that's right. Barry said Vyyyper was live streaming with it.
I was.
That's right.
I did a live stream. I did. Yep. And I think it came out pretty well. So yeah, I did a live stream. Well, I was using the front facing camera for the live stream, and it came out pretty well. So yeah. Yeah, and then like Mark Heff mentioned in the video, it has a lot of smart features in there that I don't even put to use, but it has a lot of smart features like it can isolate the caller background, so background noise can be eliminated and stuff like that. Like, bro.
Yep.
And obviously we know it can screen your calls, like when telemarketer tries to call you, it can
So good.
take like Google and what they're doing with the Pixel 7 Pro and just their AI in general, man. It's nobody touching them like that. In that software AI department, nobody's touching them like that. Not when we're talking about on device things that their AI can do with that phone. It's crazy. Whew.
Yeah, they're aiming to hit a sweet spot in usability, which I love to see. Like, I love to see that. Like, they're looking at how can we make this phone make it a convenient thing for the end user. How can it do daily improvements as opposed to being a spec chasing phone? There's enough spec chasing phones out there. There's plenty of spec chasing phones, but how can we do something that's going to make your actual end user experience better? You know, that's the stuff that I really love to see. So yeah, man, I'm excited for it, man. Team Pixel is out here winning, and I love to see it. I love to see it, man, because Team Pixel's almost been has been like an underdog for a while with the Pixel devices. People have always, they've been giving the camera, the portrait mode, its flowers since the 3A.
Yeah.
But to see it finally get like the respect that it really does deserve, I love seeing it, man.
So here's the other thing about the Google Pixel device, and this is a little biased because obviously me and Jeff are both part of Team Pixel, but Google has been sending me phones since the Pixel 4. So they've been sending me phones since the Pixel 4. I've been reviewing and talking about these phones since the Pixel 4. And to see all of the critique and analysis that we've given Google over the years to try to get them to make this phone better, and to see it all culminate with the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro, that makes me feel good as a tech reviewer, because it means that Google is listening to what I'm telling them. They're listening to Hefe, they're listening to T, they're listening to Marquez and Flossie. They are listening, and they have been listening for years. Now, there were some hiccups along the way, yes, but they listen to us, and they are doing, or they're trying to do the things that we asked them to do to make the phone better, and you saw that this year with the 7 and 7 Pro. They did all the things. They made the fingerprint system better. They made the camera system better. They fixed up the hardware stuff that was plaguing it, and they just made a complete device this year. And yeah, the sky's the limit for them next year. I'm curious to see what they're going to do next year with the 8. But whoo, Google, kudos to you again. Just amazing.
Bring me a headphone jack, damn it. Let me get that headphone jack.
Give them his headphone jack.
Oh, bro, they deliver it with a headphone jack, is over, because we know they can do it. We know they can do it. So,
but you know they won't, though. You know they won't.
No. I already know, bro. But it's one of those things where a guy can dream. A guy can dream.
Absolutely. All right, before we let you go, I don't want to hold Hefe too long. Before we go get out of here, though, and I appreciate all of y'all tuning in and watching. Y'all know I do this every year. I love to react to Marquez and smartphone awards in real time. So I appreciate him doing that. Allow me to do all that good stuff. But here's the thing. I was a part of a collab video. I think Hefe was a part of the same collab video that we did for Snub. And we were talking about tech that we're looking forward to next year. And I talked about EVs. Like, we know that Tesla's out there leading the pack, but there's a lot of companies that are now trying to catch Tesla. I mean, you got Rivian out there. You got Lucid out there. You got the big-time automakers like your Fords and your Chevys. They're doing things in the EV space. So I am really looking forward to seeing what happens with EVs in 2023. I just feel like there's a lot of advancement and development that's going to happen, because we know that these automakers are trying to make EVs mainstream in the next 5 to 10 years, although it might take a little longer. But they're trying to make EVs mainstream, and they're making major advancements on it. But I'm looking at EVs next year. Hefe, what are you looking at for our tech goals next year?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in wearables going on next year. So I'm looking forward to that. What I talked about in her video was the advancements in hi-fi quality audio via wireless and what's going on with that. aptX lossless and the rumored Apple dropping something for high-res audio as well at some point. So that's part of what I'm looking forward to. Wearables, this is why I'm excited about going to CES, and hopefully we see some cool stuff announced at CES, showcase at CES, because that's really like where you see a lot of the bleeding edge products. So hopefully we see some cool stuff in wearables. That's what I'm looking forward to. The one thing that I'll ask for every single year, like I've been asking for every single year, is improved batteries for everything. Literally everything.
Yeah.
Phones, watches, doesn't matter. Smart glasses, EVs, everything. Just getting that going. But yeah, that's really what I'm looking forward to there.
So what are your thoughts on EVs? I've never really heard you talk about EVs, obviously, because you do audio stuff. But what are your thoughts on EVs?
Oh, I think they're cool, but I don't really think that we are quite there yet. At least not for me on a personal. And I live in California, and we have an extensive charging network here. So, but I don't think we're quite there yet, because if we have trouble keeping the lights on,
Yeah.
I'm just, I'm just not quite ready for that yet. So, probably not going to be my next vehicle purchase is not going to be an EV. Maybe the one after, but the next one's definitely I'm going the other direction completely. Um, but it is what it is. I just think we're just not quite there yet, but I like the fact that we are making progress in that direction. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't think we're quite ready there as a country to like really make that like they and they're not doing it. It's not like they're going to just say, hey, no more no more internal combustion car sales, tomorrow. But yeah, but it's just one of the things where I just don't think we're quite there yet. But it's nice to see the fact that we've actually come a long way. We have, like, we really have been pushing it. So I'm looking forward to what it's going to look like 10 years from now. You know what I mean? Or even 20 years from now, where that could be. But in the meantime, I'm going to enjoy my internal combustion cars while we still have them.
Yeah, I agree with you. EVs are definitely not there yet. And for me, living in Chicago, 6 months out of the year, it's cold AF here. And I definitely
Yeah.
I have concerns about how they handle in cold. I know there are people like Kevin the Tech Ninja. He has a Tesla, and he says that it handles okay in cold. But I'm still concerned, damn it. Okay, because I ain't got time for my car to freeze. And when you have electricity or electric vehicles and things like that, and it's really cold, sometimes the stuff don't respond. I'll give you a perfect example, right? So the other morning, I was at the gym, and usually when I go to the gym, I leave my key fob in the car because I can unlock with my phone and things like that, right? So I left my key fob in the car. I think it was like maybe 30 degrees and so outside or whatever. So I was in the gym working out for about an hour, came back out to unlock the car. I unlocked the car fine. Actually, no. When I was done my workout, I warmed up the car with my phone because that's again, you can remote start the car with your phone. So I did that. But when I got inside the car to start it, actually, it would not start. And it would not start because I had left the key fob in the car and it would not recognize that the key fob was in the car.
Mm.
Like, bro, are you serious? Now, luckily, it was a simple fix. I just hit a button on the key fob and it woke itself up. But the key fob must have frozen to the point where the car did not recognize the key fob because it was frozen and I couldn't start my car for like a minute or two. So that is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about EV. And my car's not an EV, or my SUV is not an EV. But
Yeah, but still.
imagine something like that happening with an EV, like it being so frozen that it won't start or respond and stuff. Like, I don't have time for that, man. I
Well,
don't know.
there was one dude who was in a deep freeze where it wouldn't charge. Like he had to,
Yeah.
it would charge, but what it was doing is it had to warm the battery before it would accept like a fast charge, essentially.
Mhm.
So, but there's things around it. Like I said, there's what I'm looking forward to is the day that we could recharge an electric car as fast as we can fill a gas tank. Like that's what I'm looking forward to, because everybody wants fast charging for phones. F that. Get fast charging safely to electric vehicles,
Ain't that the
right?
truth?
Make it so that we can recharge them the way that we can refuel a car. If we can get that, like that's where we got to be. That's where we need to be at. Because I think right now it's still, from what I've seen, some people, they say, I've been hearing so many different things, anything from 15 minutes to over an hour, depending on the vehicle, depending on the charge station. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to sit at a gas station for a half hour to an hour. I don't want to do that. I got time, and I still don't want to do that.
My man said he got time, but he ain't got time.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
But yeah, that would be pretty cool if they could like supercharge EV. As far as smartphones go next year and whatnot, I don't know, man. Like, I think smartphones are pretty much plateaued as far as innovation and functionality. I mean, I don't know how much more a smartphone will be able to do that will really excite me. I don't know how you feel about it, Jeff, but I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not getting that vibe.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. Kind of like we're plateauing a little bit there, but it is what it is, man. We'll see what happens. I mean, I think it'll be exciting to see what kind of tech comes out next year, but we just got to wait. You know, we just got to wait and see, and I think it'll be fun though, man. That's why, like I said, I'm excited. God willing, all the flight stuff returns to normal,
Oh
and
man,
you know, we're all able to get to CES safely next week.
bro. Woo.
So we'll see what we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I was gonna say you don't have much longer to wait to see what tech we're gonna do next year.
It's a week,
You're going
man.
to CES, bro.
Yeah, it's literally next week.
That should
Yeah,
be
so it
fun, man.
should be good, man. We'll see how it goes, but yeah, it should be fun, man. I'm excited. I won't be doing like videos or anything like that. I might do just some quick hits, maybe, like, you know, if I'm at a booth and I see something really dope, then I might shoot a quick video and do like a short or a TikTok or something, you know. But
all right. Well, hey, I appreciate y'all being here. The schedule's gonna change this week because I am kind of going away for the weekend, so I might do Friday Night Vyyyper on Thursday. I got to talk to tech team, like make sure I'm not stepping on anybody's toes and all that stuff. But you might get Friday Night Vyyyper on Thursday this week, so be on the lookout for that. Other than that, I appreciate y'all being here. Thank you. Like I said, I love doing these reactions because it's pretty cool. It's funny because when I used to do this like in year past, me and Marquette kind of had disagree with the thing. They were kind of people were kind of laughing at me because of the way I reacted to some of this stuff. But I think as in more recent years, me and him have pretty much been aligned on what we think is about these awards and whatnot. So I don't know. Maybe it's just maturation on my part or whatever. I don't know. Or we're just like meshing or something. But it's always cool to react and see how he feels about things and see how I feel about things. And then you guys come here for the analysis and banter and whatnot. So I appreciate that. So thank you all. But yeah, you all enjoy your week. Enjoy your Tuesday evening. Be kind. Be safe. Have faith. Again, thank you. And I will catch you guys probably Thursday night. Peace.